my rating and I'm going to give you my score for the movie ASURAN. So here is my score. I am giving this movie
reviews, reaction, satisfaction.
Vanakkam and welcome to another episode of Dad's Den. I appreciate your support and thank you for clicking on this video. All right, with that being said, I'm like the dad, the oppa, the papa of this channel. You guys are like the family members, so if you want to be part of this family, you're going to have to subscribe. So subscribe now. And by the way, my name is Ken. I forgot to tell you that. So you guys can just call me Ken. You can call me Dad, whatever you want to call me. But anyway, today is going to be another movie review. I did a movie review of Bigil and you guys liked it. So I said, we got to keep doing these movie reviews. This is going to be my movie review of the movie ASURAN featuring Dhanush. So let's get started. So movie name, ASURAN, of course. Your cast, you have the great Dhanush, and I'm becoming a huge fan of him. He is so talented. Anyway, Dhanush, you have Manju Warrior and Prakash Raj. Those are some of the bigger names. And directors is Vetri Maran. And the music is by G.V. Prakash Kumar. And the more I'm learning about G.V. Prakash Kumar, the more I'm loving his music. Just incredible. So anyway, here we go. This is how we do this. We start with the IMDb score. The IMDb score for this movie is an 8.6 out of 10. And for ratings on IMDb, that's a really high score. An 8.6 is really, really good. So 8.6 out of 10, that's your IMDb score. So what is this movie about? Basically, it's about the teenage son of a farmer from an underprivileged caste kills a rich upper caste landlord. Will the farmer and a loving father and a pacifist by heart be able to save his hot-blooded son in the rest of this story? So basically that's your short plot line. I know there's a lot more to this movie than that, but basically that's kind of it in a just wrapped up tight ball, okay? Favorite character is definitely going to be Sivasame, okay? And that is Dhanush's character in this movie. There is so much depth to his character. He fights and there's just so much struggle in his life and so much struggle emotionally that he deals with through this movie. And like I said, he's a pacifist at heart. He really doesn't want to fight. He really doesn't want to hurt anybody, but he's forced to in these certain situations in his life ever since when he was a young man all the way until he gets to become an older father. And you see these emotions that he has to deal with, and his character is just, it's so deep. I mean, there's just so much involved in his character, and Dhanush pulls it off like a champion. I mean, just one of the best acting jobs I've seen in a long time. He did such a good job in this movie. Dhanush, incredible acting in this movie. Just so good. So my favorite scene from this movie is definitely right before intermission happens. Okay, you have this awesome fight scene. The son has just basically disobeyed his father, told his dad, "You're a wimp, how come you're not fighting?" And he walks away, thinks he knows better, and his son gets trapped by these guys that are hunting them and looking after them because his son killed somebody. And so anyway, this whole scene, it's not necessarily the fight scene. The fight scene's fantastic. I love that fight scene, but it's afterwards. It's when they're sitting at the riverbank and Dhanush is putting water on his face and his son is like, "Holy smokes, Dad, you can fight. What's going on?" And this is when the whole transition of the movie happens. Dhanush's character starts telling his son about his past, and you go into the past and all these things that happened to him when he's younger. He falls in love, and then he ends up that whole thing where his girl, she gets burned to death, and just and you get to see why he is the way he is. And that whole section of the movie, I'm going to call it one scene, but that whole section of the movie is my favorite because this is where the son is starting to realize, like, oh, I understand why my dad is like this now, and I think that's just, man, it's such a good scene, such a good section of the movie. So that's definitely my favorite scene. My favorite song in this movie is definitely the Katari Puvalagi song, all right? And because it's just such a feel-good song, and this is when he's falling in love, and it's such a beautiful song. They're dancing in the rain. It's a beautiful song, you know what I mean? And it just makes you feel good. Now you got the whole thing during the bloodbath and all. Those are like BGMs type of things. But favorite video song is definitely Katari Puvalagi. Okay, so anyway, that is my favorite song. Favorite fight scene. All right, this is definitely at the end of the movie, or not at the end of the movie, but basically the portion where after his girl is burned to death and he is just in revenge mode and he hunts these dudes down. He chops that one dude's arm off and it is just crazy. I mean, and honestly, I feel his pain. I feel why he was acting like that. I know, I can understand why he came in there with so much rage and so much passion. And the scene itself, I think, gosh, it shows a lot of what's going on inside of Dhanush's character. He doesn't want to do this stuff. You can tell he doesn't want to do it, but he just can't help it. And he just goes in there and just annihilates and destroys these dudes. And it's the scene itself, while very gory, a lot of blood. They call it the bloodbath scene. It's a good scene and it's a great fight scene. It really is. It's just full on, just gnarly fight scene. So that's why it's my favorite fight scene. In these movie reviews, I like to do a comparison of like, what did it remind me of? Are there any movies that it reminded me of? And the only thing I can think of, even though the story isn't the same at all, it reminds me a little bit of Varachennai, just a little bit. And maybe it's just because Dhanush is in it. I don't know. But it reminds me a little bit because you have the caste systems. You have, the rich, the poor. You're going to this battle of, the rich people versus the poor people. And that's kind of what it reminded me of a little bit. Not a whole lot, because it's not like the storyline is similar at all. But probably just because of that point that I just made. But that's kind of what it made me think of. All right, so now we're going to talk about the storyline of the movie and did I like it? I loved it. I love the storyline of this movie from beginning to end. It all flowed so well together, the entire movie. There wasn't a portion of this movie where I was bored, or I was just like, oh man, what are they going to get to the next part? It was just the entire movie. I was just into it from the beginning all the way to the end. Excellent movie. I love the storyline. Let's talk about the production value of the movie with the director and the producers and everything, and the visuals that we're actually seeing on scene. And I liked it. It was very raw, very authentic. The fight scenes weren't overly dramatic. They weren't like guys flying in the air 30 feet and all these like crazy CGI stuff. It was just very raw and very kind of it felt natural. It was almost like, I don't know, it's almost like you're like just following this like family along, like a documentary almost, and that's what it kind of felt like. It was just so good that there wasn't portions of it I was like, oh, that can't happen, that's fake, or that's why would they put that in the movie? There was nothing in this movie that I felt like that, because there's sometimes in movies I'm like, why did they put that in there? It doesn't even look real, you know what I mean? But like this one, they're like, we want to make this look real. We want to make it look raw and authentic, and I think they did a good job with it. I did want to give some credit to Amu Abirani, because her acting job in this movie I thought was excellent. You go from the portion where she's just this young girl and she's flirting with Dhanush's character and she's falling in love, and she was really, really cute. You almost fall in love with her as you're watching this movie too, You're just like, oh, she's so cute and she's adorable, and then to go from that to this scene where she's like burned and she's just sitting there like basically on her deathbed waiting to die. And man, I thought she did a fantastic job in this movie, so I wanted to give her some credit as well. Now we're on to the section where I'm going to give you my rating and I'm going to give you my score for the movie ASURAN. So here is my score. I am giving this movie a 9.2 out of 10. A 9.2 out of 10. That is a really high score, okay? An extremely high score. I give it a 9.2 out of 10 because number one, the acting was incredible in this movie. The storyline was incredible. The cinematography of it was great. It was so raw, so authentic. And I just thought that every character in this movie was just amazing. And Dhanush, what he was able to do with this character, what he was able to make you feel during this movie, going from being a pacifist and not wanting to kill these people and just these emotions that he's going through the entire movie. I just thought it was so well done. And so that's why I'm giving this a 9.2 out of 10. Now I want you guys to give your scores for the movie ASURAN down in the comments below. Leave your scores down below, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. What do you rank it? A 7, an 8, a 9, a 10, whatever. Show me what you guys think of this movie. Leave your scores down in the comments now. Now I'm going to get to my quote of the day, and it goes like this. The sole meaning of life is to serve humanity. Now, I don't know if I truly believe that. I think there's more than, more than meaning of life than just serving humanity, but I sure think it's a very important part of this life, you guys. I think it's really important for us to serve humanity and to be there for other people. We're not here to be living for ourselves on this earth. We're not, okay? Anyway, that's quote of the day. Hope you guys liked it. Hope you guys liked this video. Don't forget to click on one of these 2 videos over here and support here at Dad's Den, and don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.